What do you think about them coming up in this world full of AI? This is totally different. It feels like maybe I just sound like an old man on a porch, but it feels like a very different world. You, so I grew up before the internet, but even the internet doesn't feel like as big of a transformation as this.
No, but there's been bigger transformations. I mean, imagine growing or being born in like 1880. Imagine seeing the First World War and the Second World War. Imagine seeing the airplane, the radio,
Yeah.
television. I mean, the transformation, I think Peter Thiel makes this argument that basically nothing has happened in the physical world in quite a long time. We've been stagnant. All the development has been in the digital realm. And as important as that is, it's actually not as consequential as we like to believe it is. Maybe AI will be that thing that is more consequential. It does seem to point that way. But there are other humans at other times who have lived through transitions that for them certainly would feel as monumentous as what we're living through. And I think having that sense of history, that you're not that special in your sense of worries, in your anxieties. This was one of the great revelations of discovering the Stoic writings. You have these guys 2,500 years ago dealing with very familiar dilemmas and challenges in their life and recognizing that we're not so special in that regard, I think is a great liberation, because then you think, okay, well, we have 200,000 years of human development before us, and they somehow made it through.
Yeah. And
We will make it through.
the thing that makes life worthwhile is basically the same today as it was
Yes.
2,000
Yes.
years ago.
Yes. Love, creation, creativity.
Same challenges.
I read this book, The Fourth Turning. You check that out. It talks about this notion of history working in cycles, and there are these phases to history, and they name them and so forth. And the specific theory is not as important as just realizing that this is history is a circle more so than just a straight line. And we are repeating many of the same patterns over and over again. They feel so unique to the moment. And whatever crisis we're dealing with right now feels so pressing and important until we zoom back a little bit in history and realize that the last one also feels so pressing and important to the people who lived through it.
Yeah. You make me feel better. So I'm going to travel across the country and spend a lot of time with no access to the internet, alone with my thoughts.
I think that's healthy. Taking a break.
It's okay. It's okay.
I took not a big break, a little break from Max this summer, 3 weeks.
Yeah, you disappeared off
I'm surprised you noticed.
I went through withdrawals. No, you disappeared for, I don't know, a few
About
weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. What happened? This is after
I've
Le
done
Mans?
that before. I just sometimes get the sense that X in particular is the most addictive form of information, entertainment, connection that exists in my life. And anyone that followed my X stream as I was on my flight over here would certainly go like, that man is deeply addicted to the connection. And yes, guilty as charged, which also means that occasionally I gotta cut it cold, because I do think you can break your brain. And over the summer in particular, for whatever reason, I had somehow managed to steer my feed, my algorithm, towards too much politics and not enough tech and not enough optimism and not enough building. And even if I agreed with the politics and the angles that were being presented, I just didn't need that much of it.
Yeah.
And I think arriving at a place where you just go like, okay, that's enough. Not that like, it doesn't have to be something bad. I would also say after eating probably 2, maybe 3 chocolate strawberries, I'd go like, okay, that's enough. Like, it's not that I don't like the chocolate strawberries. It's just like, I don't want to eat 17 of them. And I think X and the modern algorithms are very good at feeding you freaking 17 chocolate-covered strawberries.
I wish I could
Your dopamine.
control that, like, because I would like some politics, 5%.
Yeah.
I would like, for example, one of the things I don't like about the tech community is the snark. But I like some snark because it's funny.
Yes.
But I want that to be like 10%.
Yeah. I want it
Of my
just right.
Yeah,
The
just right.
Goldilocks version of the algorithm. Well, the problem is the algorithm finds out what you respond to, not what you
Yeah.
say you like. It's all revealed preferences. And unfortunately, those revealed preferences are not always pretty. I mean, we have this shadow, as Jung talks about, like all these dark aspects of ourselves, and they are expressed in how long you linger on a tweet and what you like and what you don't like. And the algorithm holds up a mirror,
Mhm.
and it's not always pretty. And I just went, you know what? I need a break.
Mhm. I've gotten to started staying off social media, and I've started scraping X. Like, for example, in preparation for this conversation, I've scraped all of your tweets.
That's actually a method I was using for a while. I was using a tool called, I forget, it was an email tool that would summarize every day. And unfortunately, freaking X cut off their access. Now to get access to the feed, you got to pay some exorbitant sum that this startup couldn't pay. So I couldn't get it that way. And I actually thought, man, that's a miss, because X has and reveals some of the most interesting thoughts, some of the most interesting people all the time. But it's like a damn slot machine. And most of the time, you don't hit the jackpot. You hit like something else. And if I could just get it in sort of snack sizes, not like all of it, it'd be nicer. But that's not the product. And I think this goes for all of social media. It's all optimized towards maximal extraction. And if we're making the parallels here to AI, that is the great fear, right?
Yep.
That once there is a reward function, how much time can I get this human to scroll away? AI and machine learning, before we called it AI, has become very, very good at delivering just the stuff that you will find most enraging and most addictive.
I think legitimately engagement maximizing social media is a huge harm to society. It's creating this brave new world situation that I hope is a temporary thing that people just solve. It's a technology problem.
So I try to consciously flood the channel in the other direction. And this required a mental shift. I think if you look at my tweets, like, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, they tilted far more negative. If you look at my tweets now, I'd hope, well, I guess we can do a sentiment analysis and see if it's actually true.
No, it's more
but
good
I hope
vibe.
that
good
it's
vibes.
more positive. It's more good vibes. It's more like, here's a bunch of cool stuff I found. Here's what I'm excited about. Here's what I'm building. Here's some encouragement to other people who are discovering things. I also accept that is just not how human brains are built for maximum engagement. Like, there's I think you can quantify it, that negative sentiments find, 50% more traction or something, and eventually that just crowds things out. So that's why so much of the feed is that negative stuff, because we respond to it. But you can make a conscious effort to not do that. This is one of the reasons I've liked TikTok so much. I only use TikTok when I travel, and this actually was the first travel where I didn't use TikTok. And part of the reason was that even though the internet had high download, it was kind of crap anyway. It wasn't Starlink, so I couldn't actually use TikTok on the plane, and I was too engrossed with the agents. But normally when I travel, I watch TikTok, and there it's such a marshmallow test. A video will scroll down, and like, it'll activate some sort of primal instincts of rage or lust or whatever. And if you linger on it, you don't get the marshmallow of science, excitement, art, music, all these other things. You have to be disciplined to instantly scroll away, such that the algorithm doesn't pick up your reveal preferences. And I find that just at the meta game of TikTok to be pretty interesting, and then also just fascinating in itself. Again, as we talked about, there are a lot of really funny, really talented people in the world that you would never, ever have heard of if it hadn't been for these platforms.